Between worlds, Osiris speaks on life's transitions. I am Osiris, sovereign of the duat, witness to the last breath, guardian of the great crossing. I who have died and returned, who have passed through the veil and emerged transformed, who have witnessed countless souls in their transition from form to formlessness and back again. From the sacred space between worlds, I speak now to you, traveler on the path of awakening. For while you perceive yourself as living, you stand always at the threshold of death. And while you perceive yourself as one who will one day die, you are perpetually engaged in the process of rebirth. The illusion of solid ground. You believe yourself to be standing on solid ground in a body that seems permanent, in a life that seems stable, in a reality that seems fixed. But I, who observe from beyond the veil, see the truth. You exist always at the threshold, at the liminal space where what appears solid is dissolving and what appears empty is taking form. The Egyptians understood this when they built their civilization along the banks of the Nile. Each year, the river would overflow its boundaries, dissolving the markers between land and water, washing away structures, drowning the familiar landscape. When the waters receded, fertile silt remained, black, rich soil from which new life would emerge. This cycle was not seen as disaster but as sacred necessity, the dying of one form allowing the birth of another. The dissolving of boundaries revealing the fertile void from which creation springs eternal. Your life follows this same pattern. What you call myself is not a fixed entity but a process of continuous dissolution and renewal. The body you inhabit today is not the body you inhabited 7 years ago, every cell replaced, every molecule exchanged. The mind you identify with shifts from moment to moment, thoughts arising and passing, beliefs forming and dissolving, perspectives constantly evolving. Even in a single day, you cross the threshold numerous times, from waking consciousness to dream state, from focused attention to open awareness, from individual identity to relational merging, from mental activity to embodied presence. You are not a being who occasionally transforms. You are transformation itself taking temporary form. The Great Threshold. Death is merely the most dramatic threshold, the most profound liminality, the most complete dissolution of familiar boundaries. It is not an ending but a transition, not a conclusion but a crossing, not a termination but a transformation. I, Osiris, who was murdered by my brother Set, who was dismembered and scattered across the land, who was gathered and reassembled by the divine magic of Isis, know intimately the nature of this crossing. What appears as absolute ending reveals itself as radical beginning. The Egyptians recognized this truth, enshrining it in their most sacred texts and elaborate rituals. The Book of Coming Forth by Day, which your scholars mistakenly call the Book of the Dead, was not focused on death but on successful transition and continued existence.